Hello all you hardcores out there, how are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, biggest gob in sport. Look what we've got here. We've got Richard here, he's just cashed his double gyro. What's happening, Big Rich?
I'm alright mate, how are you?
No stogie today.
We'll have one later on, the Summit car, so
yeah.
All prepared one.
So we're cruising round Wickersley on your manor, lad.
We're on...
in your Ford Cortina?
We're in my area, yeah.
On your patch? Whoa, look at that. Hey. There's not only Scott Brunt got one of these in the area now, you know. Scott, you're going to have to upgrade. How you been?
I'm alright mate, how are you?
I'm alright. Straight into it then. White Rhino, what did you think happened with him and Big Freeze?
Exactly what I thought had happened.
Yeah.
Probably went a bit later than I thought. Obviously I didn't legislate for these low blows and what have you, but he came in a stone above his best ever weight for his best fight, so he looked like a bag of crap on scales compared to what he has done in the past. You know, I mean, I have some need to talk, but I'm not calling myself a professional boxer, am I? So,
yeah.
You know, he let himself down. I know he took it at short notice. We all know he's a tough lad, but it was embarrassing, wasn't it? Odds were abysmal, weren't they?
Yeah.
So odds, and that told a story, 100 to 1 for a win. Unbelievable. So a foregone conclusion. I don't think he's got anything to complain about. He doesn't deserve a rematch. I don't know whether you've spoken to Dennis or
no, I haven't spoken to Dennis, not yet.
He doesn't deserve a rematch. He doesn't really. He shouldn't really be boxing again. But it's what we've been saying for the last 2 years, isn't it? 3 years. I don't know. Wasn't it?
He were close to getting disqualified, wasn't he, Big Freeze?
Yeah, he needs to show a bit more discipline, and he needs to have a plan B and a plan C. You know, I think his plan was to gradually wear down an out of shape fighter that he knew was way past his best. And that's eventually what happened. But you know, Dave's not a massive heavyweight, but he's a big enough target not to be hitting below belt, especially twice on bounce. So yeah, we're lucky not to get thrown out of there. And then where would we have been?
In this day and age, Richard, could a case be made for Dave Allen to be basically a blown up cruiserweight that don't want to fight at a cruiserweight because he's lazy?
He's definitely cruiserweight size. If he sort of went on a proper regime, and he went on a proper, I don't like the word camps, I think it's a nonsense all about these camps. I think fighters should be walking around about a stone above the normal weight and not have to do a camp. And I've also got a bit of a thing about, if your natural weight's 14 stone and you look alright, you can see a bit of six pack and stuff like that, you should be boiling down to 2.5 stone lighter. Your weight's your walking around weight, more or less. That's my view. So yeah, he's definitely a cruiserweight. And I think if Dave Allen would, not now, but back in 4 or 5 years ago, if he'd have been offered a big money fight with what's his name, Dillian White's cruiserweight, who was lost, Babbage and Savage, if that could have been made when there was some money in that fight a few years ago, I think he'd have put effort in and boiled down to cruiserweight level, and he wouldn't have killed him to get to that, would it? 6'2".
6'3", Dave.
Is it 6'3", Dave?
6'3", yeah.
6'2". Even so.
Oh, 6'3", isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright then. Dennis wanting rematch, think that's grabbing at straws just to get another payday out, Dave?
If he does, I think it's a shame on Dennis, to be honest. Dennis doesn't need. He might want to. I'm guessing. I don't know what Dennis's finances are. But,
it's not in poorhouse, is it?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. But yeah, he wants to recoup his investment back, or some of his investment back. But he shouldn't be throwing a fighter under the bus to do it. He probably left a bit of a bad taste in his mouth all around anyway. Probably an heat at moment, Russ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But after they thought about it, after an hour, they probably thought, you know what, Dave's done on it.
But do you think Dennis is at that stage now where he's feeding them to him, because he's thrown Tommy Frank under a bus, didn't he, against that Olympic gold medalist? It were over, wasn't it, in a minute?
Yeah, and again, it'd be interesting to know why he did that and what his take of it is. I mean, did Tommy Frank get a relatively big payday for him. Maybe, I don't know, when people are desperate, they do desperate things, don't they?
Well, I don't see anybody asking Dennis these questions on YouTube, not that he'd answer him anyway. I'd put it straight on him, but he's not welcome on my channel, not while he's feeding fighters to lions. I'm not into that, that's not for me.
But to be fair, and I don't mean to be fair to Dennis, but I mean to be fair to a lot of promoters outside of Warren, Earn and what's his name, boxer guy, what's his name?
Oh, Ben Shalom, Adrian Mole.
You don't see any of the small promoters on any popular YouTube channels, do you? NSC, no. Dennis,
Steve Ward.
You said it yourself on your channel. Yeah. They're not coming up to. They're not coming north of Birmingham, are they, and talking to people on a regular basis?
No.
They're not interested.
No, it's. Speaking of people giving opinions on YouTube, Coogan's piped up. He's giving his opinion that Eddie Hearn's doing a great thing, testing everybody and being this hero for boxing. But normally he sits on fence for anything, doesn't he? Unless it's anything Eddie's doing that's good.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, because I don't know that it's all about positive and negative as regards that testing. Because as long as they're mandated to do UCAD, I believe, anyway, so this is just additional testing. So I don't know what that either proves in a positive way or a negative way. I don't know what Frank Warren's on about, and I don't know what Hearn's on about. What difference does it make? If they've got to do UCAD and border control dictate which governing body they're listening to, what difference does it make if they get extra testing or not? It don't make any difference to me, because even if they get an adverse or an okay finding on this Eddie Hearn testing, this what's it called? Fair sports or whatever it is.
Fair drug testing in sports or something.
Whatever it is. What difference does it make? Because the UCAD testing should pick that up. So I don't get what all that.
Well, I get what people are trying to say, but a lot of people daren't say what they really want to say. So I'm going to say this: it looks like people are insinuating and that Eddie Hearn allegedly is loading it over fighters with his drug testing, and the fighters are now paranoid. They're thinking, well, if I don't sign with Eddie again, I might test dirty. Do you know what I mean? And if I am with Eddie and I test dirty and I've got a deal with him, I'm going to be okay because he's not going to put it out there. That's the insinuation that's coming from other people in the sport. Now the YouTubers are not going to ask us, they're all scared to death, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not interested anyway.
Because they want access, because it's the bread and butter. I can understand that. They're not all like me, they're not their own men. But that's basically what it is. If you sign with Eddie and you're dirty, you're going to be okay. They'll not disclose it, like they tried to do with Conor Benn and Dylan White. If you don't sign with Eddie and they find out, they're going to pop it out there like they did with Boom Gardner. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I can see how people draw that conclusion.
That's what conclusion people are drawing to.
And you know, you can see how people can draw that conclusion. And if Warren thinks that, he should be saying that, or he should be at least...
Well, they're just skirting around it because they don't want legal issues, but I don't care because I ain't got a pot to piss in. So sue me. That's how I look at it. Moving on then from the adventures of Liar Eddie. Look at him here. What is he doing here with his Kia? On your weapon.
One way!
Does he know we're South Yorkshire lads, him? Moving on then to Beefy Smith and Christopher Eubank Jr. What did you think to that?
Well, I was surprised. When I'm going to say exactly what a lot of people have been saying, because I think it's more or less right. I was surprised of the outcome. I was pleased about the outcome. I don't mind Eubank. I don't particularly love him. I don't particularly dislike him. I think he's all right. So I was quietly pleased for him. I don't dislike Beefy Smith either, to be honest. But I was surprised, but I did think the second fight, like a lot of people have said, is how the first fight would have gone. That's what I thought before the first fight.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So I was shocked. There might be something in his preparation for the first fight. Has he gone through boatloads of problems in the last 12 months, but so has everybody, hasn't it?
Do you think Liam Smith took a liberty with fans, saying he's ready and he's fit in the best camp ever and all that, and when it turns out he was telling lies just to get pay-per-view money?
Yes, I think that not just him. I think it's right.
The whole team of them, him, his trainer, the lot of them.
Yeah, but not just him, as regards, he's not the only one that does it. Oh, many fighters have done it in the past, and many fighters are doing it now. Many will do it in the future, and it's wrong. And what there should be, like with the weight situation, I believe they should be publishing the weight several weeks before the start of the camp.
Yeah.
And that, you know, because that's what people are putting money on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that.
You know, people are putting money on him, and people who are putting money on can choose to believe what they want and what they can't, what they don't want to. But if I knew, and I ain't putting any money on him, by the way, you know, I'm like betting, just have fun bets. But
you've never backed a winner in your life recently, Richard, have you?
I don't think so. No. But my point is,
you're like Scott Brunt. You just keep doing it for fun, don't you?
It's just fun, innit? But I think it should be publicised, so people are putting their money on, buying tickets based on what they think is going to happen. And my point of view would be, if people knew he were losing £45 before the fight, if he knew that he was feeling not right, blah blah blah.
Yeah, go on.
Would they have sold as many tickets? Would they have sold as many pay-per-views? Would people have put money on him to bet?
No.
You know. Does his close mates know before, and what have they bet on?
I know.
You know, it's oh yeah, we're surprised. A little bit of what's going on with Dave on social media at the moment, that's being bandied about. I don't think there's anything in it.
Dave Allen?
Dave Allen, they're saying that a lot of money went on him for it to end sort of the way it did on his stall. I don't believe that, but my point is that if people knew up front, more or less, what the truth was, it'd affect, wouldn't it? Numbers.
Of course it would. Listen, boxing's it's in the doldrums, but this is how I look at it at the moment. And I wasn't going to send out about this with Dave Allen, because they had that issue with Dorian Darch, weren't they, with betting, weren't they?
Yeah.
Now they put a man in ring again. Now he has got 2 points awarded him out of the first 6 rounds, so he's fought. So basically, he is. What would you say? Were they drawing then after 6 rounds? If he's lost two points?
Could have been, couldn't they?
Right, so let's say the drawing after